Turning to our top story today, after a devastating 11-day conflict with Israel that killed more than 200 people and made thousands homeless in the Gaza Strip, the people of Gaza are beginning to piece back their lives. Attention has now turned to rebuilding the territory controlled by the Islamic militant group Hamas. According to an estimation by the United Nations, at least 6,000 people have been rendered homeless. Meanwhile, rescue workers continue their search for bodies or survivors in the rubble. The impact of explosions can be seen in this footage that shows the scale of destruction following days of Israeli airstrikes. Several high-rise buildings have been leveled. Rescue workers are spending days clearing bodies and survivors. In Gaza's busiest commercial avenue, another high-rise has been left devastated and covered in rubble. Airstrikes by Israel targeted residential buildings, which it said were used by Hamas as offices and resources. Gaza Police Chief Mahmoud Salah said that 6 offices had been struck, including the bomb squad and forensic evidence departments. At least 4 police officers have been killed. Officers are inspecting unexploded Israeli ordnance collected during the campaign. Nearly 300 Israeli rockets and shells did not explode.
العدد في هذا المكان وحده نتحدث عن 6 إدارات داخل مدينة عرفات للشرطة. تنظيم الإدارة، الأمن الخاص، مالية الشرطة، قيادة الإمداد والمالية، هندسة المتفجرات والأدلة الجنائية. إضافة إلى تدمير كلي وجزئي لعدد من مراكز الشرطة والإدارات والأفرع المتخصصة في كافة مراكز الخدمة داخل قطاع غزة.
Meanwhile, in a defiant show of strength, hundreds of masked Hamas fighters paraded in Gaza City, brandishing assault rifles. Members of Al-Qassam Brigades, the armed wing of Palestinian Hamas group, also held a military parade in Gaza City. The group commemorated senior Hamas commander Bassem Issa, who was killed along with others in Israeli airstrikes. More than 250 people were killed, the vast majority of them Palestinians, while Israel claims most of the casualties were militants fighters. On the second day of the ceasefire, head of Hamas's political wing in Gaza, Yahya Sinwar, was also seen for the first time after deadly fighting with Israel. He arrived to offer condolences to family members of Palestinians killed in Israeli airstrikes. Following the ceasefire, fishermen in Gaza returned to the sea. The sea had been shut off to fishermen in the area since late last month as a defense measure by Israel after rockets were fired into its territory from Gaza. Israel claims it has killed, quote, more than 200 terrorists, including 25 commanders. But the end of the military campaign does not mean the campaign within the country is over. The situation could heat up again, as it did on the Temple Mount on Friday. Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz has already said that top Hamas leaders remain a target. In its first statement on the 11-day war, the UN Security Council has called for a full adherence to the ceasefire. UNSC has recognized the role of Egypt and the international community in the truce. The statement has been criticized by the Israel Foreign Ministry for not condemning Hamas. The Council has also called for immediate aid for Palestinian civilians. The UN humanitarian agency OCHA in the Palestinian territories said the intensity of the bombardment led to extensive damage in Gaza. 1,042 housing or commercial units are estimated to have been completely destroyed. 800,000 people have no regular access to water.